Lake Mead is one of Las Vegas's most important power sources, but recent droughts and climate change have caused water levels to lower drastically. And with this, terrifying secrets that were otherwise buried for decades have started to surface. Keep watching to know what experts have discovered beneath its surface. Welcome to our channel, Nature Unraveled. Today we'll be taking a look at what harrowing secrets Lake Mead has buried within its depths. With its water levels lowering, its shrinking size is already a problem for Las Vegas. But it's not the only problem authorities have to deal with, because it looks like the lake has many secrets of its own. Lake Mead is located in the southwest of America and was built after the construction of the Hoover Dam. It's an artificial reservoir built to act as a water supply for the drier states. It's located in Nevada and Arizona, with certain parts reaching New Mexico and California. Spread over 640 kilometers squared, Lake Mead is fed by the Colorado River, which is filled with snowmelt. The river's source is the Rocky Mountains, which spread over Colorado, Wyoming, and Utah. It also supplies tributaries like the Virgin River and Muddy Creek. It's a reservoir that holds immense importance since it feeds over 25 million people as well as large areas of farmlands. It also provides energy to over 1.3 million people through hydroelectricity. And a lot of this has to do with it being situated just 24 miles east of Las Vegas, which you've probably heard a lot of. Known as Sin City, we all know that Las Vegas is known for its hotels and casinos and as a city that never sleeps. You can imagine how much water needs to be funneled into the city daily. And with Lake Mead located near it, you would think that it wouldn't be a problem. After all, the lake was built to cater to the rapidly expanding city in 1936. It's the largest reservoir in the United States, but it hasn't been doing too well. You'll be baffled to know its current state and the terrifying secrets it has revealed over time. In recent years, the drought in America has gotten worse, and with the added effects of climate change, many lakes have started drying up. Lake Mead is no different, and its water levels have dropped to frighteningly low levels. This is worrying for those relying on the Hoover Dam since it greatly affects nearby areas. In fact, it was just 150 feet away from reaching dead pool level in 2022, which means that downstream releases from the Hoover Dam wouldn't have been possible. This forced authorities to turn on the low-level pumps which had been built in 2020, keeping the rocky situation in mind. Several boat ramps have been shut down as the lake continues to shrink. With a 23-year drought making the situation worse, something needs to be done. But it looks like the water levels in the lake will continue to drop, and that's something to be worried about. Climate change and reckless human activities naturally have an adverse effect on the environment. The Hoover Dam is situated in the Colorado River Basin, which is currently drought-stricken and is constantly at risk of being unable to release water. The dam must release 8 million acre-feet of water annually, and the situation could become irreversibly damaged if regulations aren't set in place. Bathtub rings and islands have formed within the lake. Michael Green, an associate history professor at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, pointed out that finding things as water levels fell was inevitable. But perhaps nothing was enough to prepare people for what Lake Mead had hidden in its depths. The lake's first secret came to light on the 1st of May in 2022. A body was packed into a barrel, and further research revealed that the man had been shot right in the head and dumped into the lake into over 100 feet of water. Experts revealed that it had all the makings of a mob hit and was likely a murder in the mid to late 1970s. Las Vegas in the 70s and early 80s was dominated by underworld activity and active street crime, and it was one of the most violent periods in the city's history. It sounds bone-chilling when you think about the fact that this murder would have gone undiscovered, with the body only being found decades after the person died. But it didn't stop there, because Lake Mead had a few other surprises in store. A week after the alleged mobster's remains were discovered, two sisters discovered yet another set of skeletal remains which they initially thought belonged to a bighorn sheep. A total of 6 sets of remains were found in 2022. The National Park Service even sent out a team of divers to retrieve the remains, who was later identified as Thomas Ernst, 42, who drowned in the lake. Discovered on the 7th of May, his son recounted the traumatizing experience of losing his father unexpectedly on a family visit to the lake. But while all of these were legitimate discoveries, they would inevitably create panic among visitors. the Clark County coroners are still working to identify the rest of the remains found in Lake Mead, and Steve Schaefer, the owner of company Earth Resource Group and a local resident, mentioned that there were still several bodies that hadn't been found. Homicide Lieutenant Ray Spencer mentioned that there was a very strong likelihood that more remains would be discovered as water levels continued to drop. All of these incidents caused tourists to sometimes report what they thought were human remains. They turned out to be animal skeletons or props left by divers. If you want to know more about bone-chilling underwater discoveries, hit the like and subscribe buttons and press that notification button to find out when we post more videos just like this. But wait until you find out about the fascinating things that were uncovered. A boat from World War II is probably the most historically significant discovery yet from Lake Mead. Higgins Industries, based in New Orleans, produced several landing crafts between 1942 and 1945, and over 1,500 boats were deployed on the 6th of June in 1944 in Normandy. It was used to deploy troops to the beachfront and survey the Colorado River before it eventually sunk after being sold to the marina. While it may not interest everyone, you have to admit that it's an exciting discovery since you don't really expect to see something from World War II in an artificial reservoir, and it's not even the only craft the lake has swallowed. Another historical relic the dropping water levels uncovered was a B-29 Super Fortress aircraft. According to historians, it was supposed to be used for high-altitude research over the Colorado River. It took off on the 21st of July in 1948 for a test run, but there were problems with its altimeter. The pilot and co-pilot thought the plane was 400 feet above the water, but it ended up hitting its surface at 230 miles per hour and remained buried underneath for decades. After these interesting finds, people also discovered a lake with houseboats. It serves as an indication of exactly how much water levels have dropped since the surrounding area is completely dry. A nearby bridge with hardly any water indicates that the area will face further dry summers, which is not good for the lake. You'll be intrigued to know there are even archaeological sites submerged under the lake. It's no secret that building dams tend to cause large amounts of land to be lost, and a Mormon community known as St. Thomas from 1865 was uncovered. Reports indicate that one of the town's final residents left in 1938 once floods reached his home. It's been visible for over 10 years, with more of it surfacing with the passing of time. But experts think that even more historical sites might be buried underneath. Michael Green speculated that artifacts from the Puebloan people who lived over 1,000 years ago could also be present under the water's calm. Climate change has been affecting the lake, and the situation only looks like it's getting worse. The Colorado River is shrinking with less snowmelt, and the drought isn't alleviating. With rising temperatures, experts predict that Lake Mead will continue to shrink further. Still, 2022 recorded all-time lows, with the lake being only 27% full. Commissioner of the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation Camille Taunton was very firm in her statement. She said that 7 states included in the Colorado River Basin had to reduce water usage to at least 4 million acre-feet, or the agency would step in. Since this number is more than what Nevada and Arizona use together, it's hard to reach. California and New Mexico have put statutory and voluntary limitations in place to try and regulate water supply. States in the west of the USA fear water shortages as Lake Mead and the upstream Lake Powell continue to shrink. While the discoveries made so far make us curious about what other secrets Lake Mead holds, it's safe to say that the situation isn't favorable. The repercussions could be brutal if something isn't done to stop the rapidly lowering water levels in time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your feedback. And remember to subscribe to our channel for more valuable content like this. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Thank you for watching.